Hey, welcome to all of my replay viewers. Welcome to those of you who are watching live. If you don't know me yet, I'm Shanta Prince. I help women entrepreneurs to build their personal brands, create high ticket offers, and get paying clients. So today I want to talk about three traits about you that will help you to, hey Sherry, three traits about you that will help to set you apart when it comes to building your personal brand. Because most people want to know, how do I stand out in a market that's so saturated, right? That's what I hear from everybody. The market is so saturated. How do I stand out? And that may be true. However, the market is not saturated with you because there's only one you, right? Isn't it amazing that out of all the people on this planet, there's only one you? And that right there is your superpower. Being you is your superpower. And a lot of times you overlook what you actually bring to the table. You underestimate your gifts, you underestimate how amazing you are. So today, you know how you have that friend who tells you, girl, I'm so sorry, but that dress does not look right. I'm gonna be the friend today who tells you the truth. And the truth about you is that you are amazing and you are brilliant. And the time for you to shine is right now. So for those of you who have been trying to figure out, how do I stand out when I'm trying to build my personal brand? If I'm talking about building wealth and there are 10,000 other people talking about building wealth, how do I make myself different? How do I stand out? Well, number one, you're already different. And you're automatically going to stand out because I just told you that there's only one you. So let's talk about these things about you that are going to help you to build an amazing personal brand. Now, you can brand anything pretty much. You can brand a business, you can brand an event, you can brand all kinds of different things. But what I specialize is branding people. I'm in the personal branding space because I feel that personal branding is directly related to purpose, which is the reason why you exist. And so all of your gifts, all of your talents, your story, all of those things go into creating this beautiful mixture that is you, right? All of those beautiful things come together for an amazing recipe that cannot be replicated. And that is why I love talking about personal branding, because it's all about the things that you're amazing at, all the things that God has brought you through up until this point that you can actually turn around and use to impact the lives of other people. Okay, so the first thing when it comes to building a personal brand, which is so important for those who are in the coaching, mentorship space, and that's really my main focus. Those are who are coaches, mentors, and consultants. That's my jam because we're the ones who need to focus on building the personal brand. So if you've been asking the question, okay, how do I stand out? Right? How can I be different and not look like and sound like everybody else? Well, the number one thing that's going to set you apart when it comes to building your personal brand is your story. No one has the exact same story as you. Now, when I teach this in my Brand in Demand Bootcamp, I usually talk about 7 different things that'll set you apart. But today I'm talking about 3. Okay. So I picked the main 3, and that's what we're going to dive into today. Your story, no one has a story like yours. And your story is what's going to cause a connection between you and the people that you're called to. Notice I said the people that you're called to. Okay. I told you I was going to tell you the truth today. The truth is, you are not called to everybody. You're called to a very specific group of people, a very specific type of person. And the reason why you're called to a very specific type of person with a very specific type of problem is because that's what your gifts are designed for. That's what your personality is designed for. Okay. So your story is going to set you apart because no one has the same upbringing as you. No one has the exact same experiences as you. No one has overcome the same things that you've overcome. And so your story is going to set you apart. Now, I do teach on how to tell your story because there's a way to tell your story, right? There's a way to tell your story in a way that inspires people, in a way that connects with the people who you're called to serve. Okay. So the other thing that's going to set you apart are your gifts. No one has the same gifts as you. Just like no one has the same story, no one has the exact same mixture of gifts as you. Okay. So just let me give you an example. So I teach on personal branding. I teach on how to create high ticket offers. I teach on social media marketing. Anything that goes into building a personal brand, standing out online, connecting with people, and really creating those high ticket offers that illustrate your gifts. I teach on all of those things around that. However, I'm not the only one who talks about branding. I'm not the only one who talks about high ticket sales. I'm not the only one who talks about social media marketing, but I am the only one who has the type of gifts that I have. And one of my gifts is I have a gift with words. And so what I do with my clients is I'm able to take an idea and really listen to their hearts and what they're trying to do. And I can literally help them to design an entire offer based off of an idea because the words just start to come to me. And so I position the words in the way that positions their offer and positions my clients so that they're able to step into this market and start selling. Okay, that's one of my gifts. Another gift that I have is the gift of understanding technology. When I was in the Navy, I worked in the IT field for 10 years. And so I love technology. And so this comes into play when my clients are struggling or they're trying to figure something out or there's some type of technical difficulty that they're experiencing. When they ask me, I'm able to help them through those issues because of my technical expertise. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm saying this to show you how the different things that you're able to do come together and help you to serve your clients in an amazing way, unlike any other person. Okay. So, all the different things that I'm able to do based on my gifts, my experiences, my story, all of that goes into me being able to serve my clients in the most excellent way. And it's the same thing for you. You're going to have different things that you can do that you can help your clients to excel in whatever niche you're in. And if you follow me, you've heard me say this before, that no one can do what you do the way you do it. No one can do what you do the way you do it. And you really have to understand that thing so that when you really focus on building your personal brand, you already know that, hey, I'm already different, right? I don't have to work so hard to be different. All I have to do is be myself. Okay. So, number one, we're talking about the three traits that are going to set you apart when it comes to building your personal brand. Number one is your story. Number two is your gifts. And number three, your perspective. Your perspective on things also sets you apart. And here's where so many people struggle with really walking into and standing in what they believe, what their perspective is, because they feel like they have to do it the way this person is doing it, or they have to see things the way that this person sees it. Now, I've talked about this before about how you see people, I know you've seen it, where you see people trashing other people's methods of how they do things. Like, for example, I may see a Facebook ad and it'll say something like, I just made 7 figures doing webinars. Then I may see another ad that says, webinars are dead. Do this, take this route, do this instead. Right. And so you have one person who's saying webinars are terrible. You have another person over here saying that webinars, I just made 7 figures doing webinars. Webinars are everything. But those are different perspectives. And guess what? People who like webinars are going to flock to the person who says that webinars are everything. But people who don't like webinars are going to flock the other way. And so I'm saying that to say that you don't have to think like everybody else. You think like how you think because your perspective is going to set you apart. Maybe you have a different strategy for doing things. Like, for example, some people don't like doing consultation calls when it comes to getting clients, right? Maybe you get clients by doing something different. I have one of my clients, I have a client right now who doesn't like launching, and she's closing all of her sales in the DMs. And she's like, I don't even know if I want to do a launch because I'm getting sales through the DMs. And I'm like, you don't have to do a launch. If your clients are coming in consistently and you're closing these sales in the DMs, you do not need to do a launch. Right? That's her perspective. She's like, this is just not something I want to do. I prefer to do it this way. And so you have to really accept that your perspective, if you have a different perspective. I know you see people doing things. You see people in the same space as you, and they're doing things, and you're like, this way, this way is more effective. Or, oh man, if they would just do these couple of things, they could be so much more efficient at that thing. That is what I'm talking about when it comes to your perspective. If you have a different perspective, don't be afraid to share it. Don't be afraid to stand in that thing because that's going to draw the people to you who you're called to serve. And believe it or not, one of the things that really breaks my heart every single day is dealing with people who have all of this amazingness wrapped up in them, all of this God-given talent and God-given passion, and they feel like they need more stuff. before they can actually start serving people. And I always tell this story about a lady who sent me an email. And she emailed me and she said, I read your bio and I saw that you went to this school of ministry. And she said, well, I want to start serving clients. I want to start helping clients. Do you feel like I need to go to that school too? And when I looked at her name, she had so many, like she had the whole alphabet, like after her name. And she had all these certifications and all of these degrees. And I looked at her name and I said, she has plenty already. And I emailed her back and I said, you don't need another certification. You don't need another degree. You don't need to take another class. And I said, you need to start serving people. You need to start helping people. And I feel like when you get into a place where you're like, oh, I need this or I need that before I can do this, is really a low-key way of saying I'm not good enough yet. And the only reason why I know this so well is because I've been there and I've done that. And so when you know that, okay, this is who I am, this is my story, this is what I'm good at, this is my perspective, you're ready to start building a personal brand that's going to stand out. Because we already understand that there's an information overload. There's information everywhere you look. I was just talking to my mom a few days ago, and I was talking about how I really have like a mini library in my house. And I know some of you probably do too. I have a mini library in my house. I have so many books. Not only do I have a lot of information in the form of books, but as soon as I pick up my phone, if I open up an app, there's information. There are ads everywhere. Even when you're driving down the street, there's information everywhere. There are billboards, there are buses going by with advertisements on the side of those buses. There's information everywhere, right? And so you really have to understand that in a time where there's an information overload, and like we talked about earlier, like there could be 10,000 people talking about what you talk about. But these are the things that are going to make you different when you're able to articulate those things. When you're able to talk about your story in a way that inspires people. When you're able to talk about your gifts. When you're able to or illustrate your gifts, not just talk about your gifts, but illustrate your gifts in the form of service. And when you're able to articulate your perspective and be confident in it, it's going to really set you apart from all those other people who are doing the things that you do. I promise you, even though there's 10,000 people talking about what you're talking about, there are still some clients for you. There are enough people who need the solution that you have to where you can have an abundance of clients. Right? I believe that God is an abundant God. And so we're never going to run out of people to serve. Right? We're never going to run out of people to serve. And so really keeping that in mind and understanding, because I feel like so many people are stuck because they're like, well, there's so many people already doing this. But remember when I said there's only one you, and really learning how to leverage the power that is in you, the uniqueness that is in you, that's what's going to help you to build a powerful personal brand that sets you apart. So if you're waiting for the next biggest thing, it's time to stop waiting, because the next biggest thing is you. You are the next biggest thing. Okay. So if you're not inside of my Facebook group, I would love to invite you over to join me. Just go to Facebook and type in Purpose Driven Coaches and Entrepreneurs. I have a Facebook group where I'm teaching, sharing content, and also allowing an opportunity for people to connect with each other and share what they're selling. If you've seen my post before, I talked about how connection is the new currency, and the landscape of marketing has changed. There are a lot of things, not just the iOS update, but also COVID has forced us into something different when it comes to marketing, and you really have to be on the cutting edge of what's happening. And so being able to connect with people, that's going to be one thing that's going to take you further than anything else. And so inside of my group, I allow people opportunities to connect with each other, share their offers, share what they're selling. And so it's a really great place to grow and connect. So come on over, Purpose Driven Coaches and Entrepreneurs. If you're already in my group, I'll be seeing you soon, because I'll be talking to you about some other things when it comes to building your coaching business and building your mentorship business. Okay. So If you're not in my group yet, I want to see you over there, Purpose Driven Coaches and Entrepreneurs. And I'll be seeing you again soon. I hope you have a wonderful day.